list of product details one after the other. Because it's in the group, no? It's in the group of products list. I want to print product by product.
Yeah.
Because if I say P list, I'll get the whole information as it is. I want to print this product details first. This is one product. This is the second product. Both are products only. So I want to show the products detail on the screen. Not the products list. This is product list.
Yeah.
List of all the products together as one unit. But now I want to see only each product individually. After that, this one. Okay, I'll just give this. I want to print each number individually.
Okay, ma'am.
Let me just slow it down. I want to print each element of this list
Isn't
one
it
by
D
one.
of index, like D of 0? Not that way.
If I do like this, is it printing all?
No, no, ma'am. It's not. I think for
Yes, a loop is
yes,
required. No, see
Okay,
if
you
I have
want
to
all
yes,
the numbers.
for
yes,
very
because I have to go from
yes,
0th index.
yes,
I'll go on to
yes,
next index and complete all the elements. I want to
yes.
print every element one after the other.
For this,
So
yes,
for
very
sorry,
variable, variable
okay, variable,
each data
or
in
can I say for
D
each element or for each data?
in D print very comma variable comma no okay data comma uh, hyphen and yeah
Because if I just
yes sir.
print D, it is
I got it.
square brackets and commas, you can see. Because in real time, we don't see like this, no square brackets. Any information we'll see separately. If you want, you can put commas.
Yeah.
If you want, only put commas there. In that, in the end, you can say comma symbol. So that time it will just print each element and put a comma after that.
Okay.
If I don't put comma, it will be just a
Yes,
space.
it's anyway
Now, if I do this list, same list, okay, now I want to print. There are two lists, not just one list, no, a list inside another list, nested list. The main list is D, and when I say print D,
all of them.
what is it printing?
Yes.
Complete list with sublist. Complete list it is showing. But now I want to just print this list, only this list. So this is generally, if I have to do manually, this is the way. But instead of doing this, is there any shortcut? Any for loop can we use?
Yeah. For sublist in the print
Okay.
yeah.
It's printing the
Yeah.
sublist. Now sublist itself is a list format. Again, I don't want that list format. I want individual data in the sublist also. So if I don't want sublist as it is, I want to run a loop again on the sublist also.
Means we need to
So first I have to run a loop on the main list, and then again run
data
another loop on,
in sublist.
then only we'll get the
Sublist.
data. For each data found in the sublist, print the data and separate the data by a little space if you want. Here, So all the data of one sublist will be printed side by side. After finishing this sublist data, we have to enter to the next line. So that empty print. If I don't give this empty print, what will happen?
Side by side they are coming.
Okay. So I don't want sidebar because this is over. Data in each sublist is printed. After that, it will go to which list? Second sublist.
Side by side.
That is also printed side by side only. So I want only one sublist should be printed in one line. After that, what we want to do? Go to the next line. So this is how we do this part.
Okay.
Okay. Is that clear, Vinita?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll give some good questions. You have to solve the yesterday's, like whatever I gave that first. Then I can give you one more real time. These kind of combination of nested loops questions. Fine. Is this clear or any doubt? Loop and for loop, the nested loops.
This is clear, ma'am.
Clear, but you need to solve questions. No, lot
Okay.
of questions.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Balaji.
the data you're calling, ma'am, it's
Yeah.
how it is defining that is the name of the data. How it was taking that.
Okay, no. This keywords job is what is? Whatever you provide here, it's a sequence.
Okay.
This keyword in will pick one of the value at a time, one value at a time, one by one. Starting from the beginning, it will go on to the last. So when you start this for loop, it will pick the first data of the D, like D of 0. It will take that value and store it in which variable? Whatever you mentioned here, it will come with that value.
Yeah.
So every value of D will be stored in this one.
Okay.
And then we are trying to print if you want. So whenever again I'm running a loop, now we got a sublist. Again, if I say sublist with a for loop, every data in the sublist will be stored in which variable? This is a temporary variable. So data is equal to the values found in this sublist only, one by one. So it will start from the 0th value, then it will go to 1 automatically. We are not telling that, right? So this for in loop, it's nothing but like for each data found in this sublist, print the data. It's like we are giving an instruction to the Python saying that bring me each data of the sequence. Get me the data of the sequence one after the other till we finish the list. So it will only bring you the data and jump to the next data. It will go on jumping till we come out of the list. Once there is no more data left in the list, it will stop the loop. So this we can write anything. It's not that only. We can say for S, SL or S sublist in D, print SL. It is just a variable, nothing more than that. So for SL in D, again for D, for data or value in SL, print V and print. So it's just a variable, whatever you want to use, right? So whatever is found in this one by one will be assigned to this variable. And then whatever is found in this, it will be assigned to this variable one by one and it is printed. 1, then 2. So it will go on. Once this loop is finished, then only it will go to the next list of this D. And it's referred through S1. Again, whatever is found in S1, retrieved one by one and printed. Retrieved one by one and printed. Right? Any confusion till here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So today we'll start a new chapter that's like functions. Okay. Now, basic definition of functions is a block of code or statements performing some similar task, a related task, we can say. Task written only once. We will write it only once. Once inside a program and saved with a name so that we can call this or run this code whenever we like. by just calling it. It's like saving something, just like saving something, saving some code somewhere and run it when required, whenever required. Okay, so function basically is nothing but some logical block, or we say block of logical code. So like which logical block? Oh, I'm saying addition. Function nothing means it's like operation or a task only. So addition is an operation, or is it a job, or is it some logic? So addition function, what does it do? It will just do addition of two given numbers. So whenever you press plus symbol, it will just take the two given numbers and add both the numbers and returns the answer back to you. So what is the job of addition function? To add two given numbers and give back you the answer. That's what its job. So that's why we call it as which function now? Addition function. I can write various function with some logic. So I'm saying I want to write a function to find the area. Find the area of a rectangle. Okay, so this is one function. So function is nothing but a logic. So what is the logic to find the area of a rectangle? Maybe this is the logic. So if you write the logic, that means this is the formula. We have to save it somewhere. So if I save this as area of rectangle form, like in maths also we do like this. We just save it as a formula, give a heading, and we do something like this. So that whenever we want to find the area of a rectangle, we'll go for this name and see the formula below this and start applying our values. If user has given some excess, the length as 5 and breadth as 3, and you want to find out this answer. So now can you refer to this formula saved here and find out this answer? So as per the given formula, what they have mentioned, we just have to apply this formula with this given variables, and here it is multiplied this and it's just giving 15. So that means this is just like a reference formula. So functions are nothing but saved works. We will do the code and save it somewhere so that whenever we want, you can use it for our calculation purpose. And basically functions will be like, first we have to define a function. So there is a concept called as definition of a function. Means unless you write a function, you can't run a function. So the first step would be definition of a function, which is called as function definition. Once you finish this task only, the next task can be done is call of a function, which is called as function call. So first the step is to define a function, then only we can call or run a function. So the definition or the function definition can be written with some specifications. So every function definition will have some parts. So the first thing is a keyword. So function definition will be defined with the keyword, def keyword. Second thing, it will have a name of its own. It will have a unique name. Every function will have a unique name. We can't write the same function twice. I can't write addition function twice. Only once we can write add, and we can write a logic inside that. So they have a unique name so that we can call them. So whenever we want to run those logics, we have to call them by their name. So everybody's name should be unique. Now, if both of your names is same, I can't call you both. So if both your names are different, then only you will respond when I call you. Next thing is every function will have some input parameters list. Means to take the inputs. These are the list which will collect the data. So these are used to receive the data from the user. So whenever we have to perform a logic of area calculation, if I have to do this, what is the input required for us? We need the inputs of length and breadth. So if you don't pass length and breadth for this formula, can we find out the area value? Can it be computed? To find the area, if somebody does not give you the length and the breadth dimensions of the rectangle, can you find out the area of rectangle and give back the answer?
No, ma'am.
So what is more important for running a calculation is data. So inputs are required. So that input, or we say the data, input is nothing but the data here. So the data is important for performing a logic, calculating a logic. So for that, this is called as input parameters list. Why I'm saying it as list is, it can be one input or more input. It can be a list of data. So those are called as input parameters list. Then next is followed by the body of the function, where we write the logic. Where the logic is written. Means coding is done here, or we say code is done here. Okay. Once it is done, after finishing the whole code, so inside the body, the last statement can be a return statement. So this is called as return statement, or return values, we can say. So inside the function body, we will have the last statement as the return value, return statement. So what does it do is, like, if you want to find the area, just think, I will pass some values to this particular logic. Then what is this logic going to do for you? It's going to find the area with these two given inputs. So it will just multiply these two. And after that, it can either print the area on the screen, or if you don't want to print on the screen, you can give it back to the callers. So it can just return the area so that somebody can use this data as they like. Maybe printing is not necessary. They want this answer for the further studies or something. So whether the function can print the area or can return the area, it's optional. So it's nothing but a function block right now. So function has a name. So whenever I define a function, so we have to just go by part by part. So the first thing is, when we have to define a function, we have to start with which keyword? Def keyword. So now I want to define a function to find or to take inputs of length and breadth and find the area of a rectangle and return it. That means return the answer. That is, return the area. So for that, starts with which concept? Def keyword. I want to define a function with def keyword. The function name is nothing but your operation, what you are achieving with this function. What is your actual main motto of it is to finding the area of a rectangle. So I can simply write the name of the function as find area, no spaces. It's a lengthy name, but still it will be meaningful right now. So my operation name is find area of rectangle. Okay. Then the inputs. So what is required? What is expected to find the area of a rectangle? What inputs are expected from user?
And breadth.
Those names you have to
Length and
mention.
breadth.
Yeah. So mention two, yes, just mention two variables which can hold the values. So whenever user will call this function, they will give two values to this function, and those values will be saved in these two variables. So this is my function definition, first line. It starts with def keyword, name of the function, followed by the inputs parameters list. What you need as an input for this logic, we'll be mentioning those two variables here. And after that, we'll just start the block, or we say the body of the function. Just like if block, for loop block, or while block, we have this colon symbol here because it begins here. The logic has to start now. So what should the logic here? For the logic, we have to take a third variable, and the given information which is saved in which two variables? Length and breadth, I'm using in a formula. So I use the same data. See here, if I say x and y, you are using the same thing as an input to find the area right now. So depending upon whatever variable you mentioned, same variables you call it here also. So once we get this, what we have to do, there are two variations. Either you print the area, the function should print by itself the answer on the screen, or if you don't want this particular printing, so what you can do, you have to just return back the answer. Return keyword, and what you want to return? Area. So it's like a tool, it's like a solution for you. It's a solution to find which area? Area of a rectangle. So now it's defined. Definition is over. This is called as function definition. Okay. So once function definition is over, what is the next part? Function can be called. That is called as function call.
Unit name.
So function call is nothing but execution, executing the defined function. So to execute the function, we have to call it. What is the name of this function? Find area of rectangle. So I need to call it by the same name. I'm calling it by the same name, but if I call it directly like this, nothing will happen because it's expecting some inputs also. How many inputs it's expecting?
2. Length and
Two.
breadth.
Yes, so we just have to give the data, directly the data. You can give any values here as you like. So here it is only symbolically saying 2 variables means it is expecting 2 information from your point. So you can mention any variable here as per your requirement, as per your understanding. So that will be better if you write like the understandable variables, LB, length, breadth. You can make it very lengthy also by writing complete name of the data. So if you write like this, now the same variable I have to use it in this location also. Okay, is that clear? So this is just a definition as it saved code. Now we want to run that code. So what we have to do? Call it by its name and how many inputs it's expecting? 2. So just pass 2 data to it. Now what will happen with that? Whatever we wrote here, it will start executing somewhere on the system. So what we have passed is 2 information here. Now the program is ready to run. These 2 lines are inside the body of the function. Now we are going to run them. So it will apply this formula and find out the area value by with the given inputs right now. These given inputs are here right now. Using those values only will apply multiplication and save the answer in area, and then we'll return the answer back to the caller. So we called here at the called point. So here we called it. So immediately it will return the answer also here only at the same point. So if you want, you can print the answer immediately. So I'm calling the function. It is doing its job background and it's only giving back an answer to you. So that answer will be inside which brackets now? Print brackets. So answer will be printed with the help of which function? Print function. If I don't write this print function, answer is here at this point. It has come back. But is the answer visible on the output screen? Will it be visible? No, it will be here. Just like a calculation. See, if I'm doing a calculation, will it be shown on the system? Just if I write like this, I take a file, I'm writing 5 plus 4. Okay, 6 into 3. Will it be shown on the screen if I save this file and run it? Now, if I run this, will I see the output on the screen?
No, ma'am.
So this calculation will return an answer, no? 5 plus 4 means immediately computer is also finding an answer. And what is the answer? 9. But that 9 is not visible. You can see that. So I have to make it visible on the screen. So when I printed the answer will be calculated after calculation is done only we'll get the answer back. So this computation will be done and it returns the answer. That returned answer is immediately printed. Then only we're able to see it on the screen. So here also after calculation it returns 24. But 24 is there, but it's not printed. So unless you say print the return value of the calculation, we can't see the answer. Same concept here also. So now if I define a function to add to addition of 2 numbers, I'm writing a logic for returning which answer now? So just see, I didn't write any print statement also. What did I write? Whatever it receives, it adds them up and returns the answer back, right? So is there any print job done inside this function? Is it printing the answer for you on the screen?
No, ma'am.
No. So who should do the printing? You should only do the printing. If I say just do the addition of 5, 6, it will do the job and return you the answer. But if you don't print, it will not show it on the screen. No output on the screen. It's like 5 plus 6 is done. 11 is the answer also. It's here. But since you didn't print, it won't show on the screen. So if a function returns a value, only then we can see the answer. If it does not return the values, just it says like this. Does it return anything? Does it return or it's with that function only?
With that function only, ma'am.
Yes. So in that function, if you print it, it'll be there. Means that function has printed, not you. You didn't print anything. You didn't get anything back. So like you are calling here, the function is being called here. You are calling the addition function here to do some task for you, to do addition. So when I called it, it did its job by taking the received values, and it is by itself it is printing it on the screen. But after that, did it return you anything? After this calculation is over, did we get any return value or nothing? At this point, did I get anything?
Yes,
When I
ma'am. If we are printing it, we'll get it.
yeah, I called it. It has started executing. It has printed. And finally, did it return anything here? Did it say it is returning back something? Has it said this? It hasn't said no.
No, ma'am.
No. So if it is not returning, did I receive any answer back from this point? Did I receive any value? Okay, I'll just explain what is that return value means. It's just think like two people. Now this is me and this is you. If I call you, your name is add or addition. Now you are a person. This is me right now. I'm calling you. How will I call you? Maybe there is another function called difference. There are two people. One knows the logic of what? Addition of two numbers. Another person knows the logic of what? Difference of two numbers. So can I just call you saying that please come addition, do the addition, or I should say do the addition of 5, 6. Should I just call you like this? Or should I call you like this?
The second one.
Second one. So whenever someone calls a function, because function is expecting some values, you have to call you by passing to information to. So then only it starts doing the execution. So what is it trying to do? It is doing the addition. And if it is just printing, who is doing the printing job? Am I doing the printing or you are doing the printing?
We will give the print command, but
Yeah, that means you are doing this job. I'm not doing any job right now. I just called you. You are only doing everything, and finally you printed the answer. So once I called, is your job done? For what I called, have you finished your job? Is your work done?
yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now you'll go. You'll not be there now. Means the again system will come back to the same point. Function execution is over. Is it giving you back anything? Or it's just going off? Its execution is completed. Is it returning something or nothing? Did I write any return statement here? If I say return 5 plus 6, so where is it this answer going to go back? It's going to go back to the caller. Who is the caller? I'm the caller. So caller will receive which answer now?
11.
11. So what caller can do? Can the caller print the answer?
If I give the command, he will.
Yes. So that means just think. I just called you by your name and by passing two values. What have you done with that? You didn't do the printing job. What are you trying to do?
Just returning it.
Returning it to
he
the
started.
callers. So this is the caller and this is the called function. This is the caller function. So caller will call a function by supplying some inputs to it. It will perform a logic, whatever logic it has to do. And finally, if it returns something back to you. So how did I call you? I called you by your name, by passing data to you. You performed your job and you're returning an answer back to me. Just like if you do the calculation, am I getting an answer? Can I save this answer in a variable or not? Generally.
Yes, ma'am.
Same way, when I call a function also, if it returns an answer, you can save it anywhere you like. So if you have a variable called answer, you will get the answer from which call? The call of the function. So when you call this function, it will return an answer. That answer you can save anywhere you like. Or else, if you want, you can call the addition function inside a print statement also. So I want to print the value which is given back as a return value from which function? Addition function. So whenever we define a function like addition of, this is definition. See, definition will have all the structure. Def keyword is there. And here, if it just says return n1 plus n2. So till this code, do we see any print statement as of now?
No, ma'am.
No print. So if somebody calls, it calls this function, they have to call by the name. If it requires some input, supply the inputs. Now this is called as function call. So if I called you, did you finish your job?
Yes.
And you gave
Yes,
me
call.
back an answer. You gave me back an answer. But did I print it on the screen now?
No, ma'am.
No. If it is on the shell, if I directly call this function on the shell, it gave an answer. Will the shell print it directly or not? Direct shell.
If on shell, I guess add addition.
Yes, it will be
We'll get
printed.
it.
On the shell, we get it. But now where am I calling the code? In a file only. So in the file only, if you say add of 5, 6, is it going to display this answer automatically on the screen?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, so it won't show. It is having the answer, but it is not displayed. So how to display the answer? You yourself have to call the answer inside which function?
Print.
Print.
If you print only, the return value will be printed, right? Same way, if I say square of a number. So you should return, now I'm defining a function which will take one number and it should define this function to return which value right now? Num into num.
Number.
So this is the definition. It's like a logic. You save the formula. Now user wants to find out the square of this number. Something is here with you. And you want to save the answer into this variable. So if you know the formula, you would have done it like this. This is a basic one, but if there are complex formulas, if you know, you can compute here directly. But if I don't know the formula, so what should I do? I want to get the answer from this formula, which is saved somewhere. And what is the name of this formula? Square. And what should I pass to it? A number to it. So I'm calling this function. I'm calling the square function by passing which value? 25 to it. So now this block of logic will start execute. It gets activated when a number is passed to this function. Once it receives a number, it starts computation and returns an answer of square of the two numbers. That return answer, what is done with that return answer? It is returning 625. What have you done with that answer? You have saved in which variable? Answer. Now, unless I print the answer, can I see the answer square of the 25 on the screen?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
We need to
So,
print it.
yes. So you can save the return value in a variable and then print it directly like this, indirectly like this, or what else we can do? If you want, directly print the return value by calling which function? Square inside the print statement only. Inside print, say that I want to print square of, okay, some 30. So now this will return an answer of 900. Now this return value is inside which block? Print statement. So because of that, output will come on the screen. Right? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Same way, if I have to define a function to find simple interest, what is the inputs required for solving this question? What information is required?
PTR.
Yes,
We
so
need
PTR.
principal, time, and
So I'll write three variables on. With these three information, what you can find out?
simple interest. T into T. R by 100.
Okay, clear? And after calculating, can you return the answer? If you return the answer, it's my wish whether I want to print it or I want to use that answer and find the compound interest. It's my wish right now, caller's decision. So function's job is what? To take the information, inputs, find the logic, apply the logic on it, and then return the values. Okay. So this is a basic job of a function, to take some inputs, process the inputs, and finally return the answers. But now to run this, what we have to do? Call this function. So if you have some principal amount, rate is given here, 5%, and time is some 12 months. So if you want to find the simple interest out of it, what should we write after this? I'm declaring a variable called simple interest is equal to, if you know the formula, you would have written like this. Okay. Now, if you don't know the formula, what should you do? Call the function in which we have the formula. So somebody has written the formula and same with the name as find simple interest. And what should I supply to it? My values. Okay. So what will this function do now? It'll do the job for you. It'll find out. And finally, is it returning an answer? So that returned answer is saved in which variable?
simple interest.
Now we can print. If I print this simple interest, we'll get the answer on the screen. Okay. Just I'll show it practically to you. You'll understand that. No? As we have done this addition only, you can see that. Yeah. So this addition only, it's just a definition. If it is printing, is it returning anything or it is printing the answer by itself?
It's printing.
Yes, it is not giving back anything, no? Did we write any return keyword here?
No.
No.
It will
If
do.
I don't write return keyword, it will be like this. It will be empty return. Nothing. It will be like nothing. When we don't write a return statement, it will add by itself a return none. It's like that. Because of that, when we try to, I want to just save the value, return value. I'm just saying R value coming from which function? Addition of 5 and 6. I'm calling this function. I call the function by supplying two values to it. It has taken the values, added the values, printed the answer. But what is it returning back to the caller? Is it
Nothing. None.
nothing? So RV is which value now? What is the value of RV?
Return value is 0. Nothing.
None. None. This is a no information means none keyword. Like 0 is no number, none is no information. So now if I print RV, what will I see on the screen?
None.
Because nothing is returned there. So same way, if I directly call the function here inside the print statement, what will be the output on the screen? I
We'll get
called
the
it,
answer.
it will print the answer, but afterwards at the end, what is it returning back?
Nothing. It won't return, right? Because we didn't write anything.
Yeah, it is returning what? None.
None.
So your output will come as 8 will be printed, but who is printing this 8? This function only. And what is here printed? We printed none here. So this line of print statement, it's printing which sentence? None. But this 8 is not printed here. 8 was printed by which location? Here 8 was printed. So printing job is not done by the caller. Called function is doing the print job. So even if now let me just run it and show you, you'll understand that. Right?
7, 9, 8, 9.
I called it twice. Let me call it
Yes.
only
No,
once.
no. We got it.
Right?
Yeah.
If I directly call that function, addition function with some two values, what should be answer on the screen now? When I'm calling, it is printing 30 and it is returning none. That is also getting printed. 30 and none will be printed.
Yeah.
Now, if I don't print anything here and don't write any return statement here, okay, let me write it none. So there is nothing coming back. If I write a print statement, but I don't write a return statement, then also same concept. Whether I mention return or not, if I don't mention any return keyword, system will automatically add it saying that it returns nothing. When you are not returning anything, system will say that directly returns nothing. It's like return none. So unless you say something like return n1 plus n2. So now I'm not doing the print statement. So what is this function doing? You pass some information to it, and what is it doing? Is it printing the answer or is it giving you the answer?
It is giving the answer but not printing.
Yes. So when it has given an answer, you have saved it in a variable and you yourself are printing that answer. Is it right? So now can I see none or will I see some proper answer level?
We'll see a proper answer.
Yes. In the next line also, I'm printing return value from addition. Is it returning something?
Yes.
So that return value only you are trying to print. It is not doing any print job for you. Right? So when you write such functions, what happens? So I want to define a function which will take input of find simple interest. And here we'll just say PRT. And I'm just trying to directly say, if you want, you can take a variable and do that. Write the formula slowly. And unless you return, if you don't write this return keyword and return the answer, you'll always return nothing, none there. So we have to do that. So based on that, now what's required? You need some values. Caller. This is definition of the function. It will not run. If I just run this program, no output on the screen. Because they're only definitions. They're not running. It's like in front of you, there is a remote. You're not pressing the power button. If you don't press the power button, will it switch on? Everything is here. If you don't call it, it won't happen. It's not happening status. It's just there in the system. So if you increase the volume only, it will increase. Otherwise, it will be stable. Nothing, no changes will happen. So here also, after defining the function, if you are not calling it, no output on the screen. So now I want to I have some information with me. 2%, 0.02, so 0.2, or Z is nothing but the time period, let us say, and I want to find the simple interest. So for that, I don't know the formula, so I'm calling the function which is having formula inside it. And I'll pass my X value, rate value, and the Z value. That's the time period. And then can I say print SI? Will I get an
We didn't
output?
put that column. So maybe.
Wait, no. This is calling, no?
Okay, so we don't need any column. Okay.
No. Colon is like beginning. It's like an
Okay.
answer, no? This is a subheading. This is the answer
Okay.
for it.
Okay.
This is, you're just running it,
Okay.
function calls. How we say, no, like length function.
Mm-hmm.
Do we say colon
Okay.
there?
No,
We
ma'am.
don't do. We just directly, that's also function return value. It returns the answer of length of the string. Here, I can even present sentences. I can say simple interest is, and then wait for the value. Just print the value beside that. It's clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you write a function to find the area and define the perimeter of a rectangle?
Okay, ma'am. Perimeter.
Right? Two functions to find area and perimeter of rectangle. So can you just define it and then call it? You have to tell. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Tell me the answer. No, amount में transfer कर दी. Bye. You able to get that?
Doing is equals to length into breadth. Finish. That's it. Area. Okay. L is equals to 10. Breadth is equals to 6. This is equals to area. Is equals to L into comma 6 plus y. Okay, wait a sec. What happened? He will choose. I think I
Ma'am,
made an error, ma'am. Oh, I didn't. Oh, shit.
ma'am,
I think I
can I share
made.
my screen now?
Where did I go wrong, baby? This one check.
You can share the screen, Balaji.
Can you see, ma'am?
Yeah.
Here,
Okay. In that, below, don't give the formula name as area of rectangle. Give some other name. Area. Just give area because function name on the top. Definition you wrote, no?
yeah.
Definition, area of rectangle you gave. That is fine. Below, inside. That is fine. That's fine.
Hmm.
Inside the function, don't give again the same name. Just give area, no? The
Okay.
formula, the actual, the data name.
Okay.
And return the, what are we returning here?
Area. Area of a
Area.
rectangle.
Only area. Just area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, we need to
And
put.
how, no, don't put the formulas now. Already it's saved. See, functions are written once and we can call it again and again. Reusability of the code. So code is done already. Coding is done. Now we just have to run the code. So how to run the code? How do we run this code? We have to call this code now. Now just call this code here by its name. What is the name of the function? Area of rectangle, no?
Yeah.
Call it in the
Yes.
shell. Yes, call it in the shell. In the
All it
shell
is.
also we can call it. In the shell also. Run the file. Run the file.
Okay.
Click on run. Means the code is here. Now we have to call something from that particular file. So
Yeah.
in the file, we have written a function, no? Call that function here.
Area.
What is the name of the function?
Area of
Area of
RAC. Yeah.
REC and give values also in the brackets. So when I'm calling, it's returning an answer.
Yeah.
Press enter.
50.
Here the answer is printed because it is shell.
Yeah.
Because it is shell. Now go to the file.
Yeah.
Yeah, and call the function below. Same thing. You define the function or you call the function. Here, same thing what you did on the shell. Area of REC without a space. Yeah. And run the program and see, do we get any output or not with this? Will I get any output? No output.
No.
Go to the file. Go to the file again.
Yeah.
Print the area of rectangle. Print. Before that,
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Balaji.
Yeah, ma'am. I did not got it.
Yeah, I got the answer.
I got.
But this shell, right?
Yes. In the shell. I got it.
Balaji,
Ma'am,
in the file, can you just in the file, go to the file.
yeah, in the file only.
Okay, once. Yeah, inside the file, remove the last sentence, print statement. Yeah, complete. Delete the print statement. Yes. Go to the previous line. Before area of rectangle, type print.
At the bottom of the return.
No.
No.
This whole last line should be inside print. Like this, print length of tech learn. So print area of rectangle. Last line.
Balaji last.
You enclose that inside print round brackets. Yeah. Means you want to print the not in single quotes. You are calling the function, not in double quotes also, directly. Balaji, you're calling the
No
function.
quotations.
Nothing, no quotation. Yes, wrap this whole thing twice, two round brackets, two times round brackets. Yeah. Now run the program.
I got it.
Okay. Go to the file. In the print statement, just put a message after print round brackets open. In the print statement, inside that. When you open the round bracket, no, there, not in the closing time, in the beginning.
Before area.
Yeah, before area of rectangle word, just type double quotations. Area is equal to close double quotes, comma. That's it. Now run the program.
Area equal to 50.
So how did we get that 50? Because we are calling the function there, no?
Yeah.
In the print statement, we are calling a function. What is job of a function? To compute and give the answer back to you. Right? So you wrote a function which is used for computation of area and returning the area back to you. So it's your wish how you want to use that answer. Clear? So I'll take one more class tomorrow on functions anyhow. We'll do a lot of programs on functions. Right? Because
Okay.
I have another class now, so I'm just winding up the class for today. So tomorrow we'll have more clarity on this concept. At least you got the concept that function, how to write it, how to call it.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. So we'll continue today.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.